In today's local author spotlight, we welcome Dylan Marquis. His new fantasy sci-fi novel is turning heads for readers of all ages. The new book that you have out, The Sword of Bearden. This is a fictional story. You've been thinking about doing something like this ever since you were a kid.
Absolutely.
You work for Boeing full-time, you're quality assurance inspector and so forth. But what inspired you to write this book? And this is self-published and everything, right?
Correct. It's a self-published book, and what really inspired me is the idea that no one knows exactly what happens to you the second the lights go out. A lot of people have beliefs that, that you go straight to heaven, and Christian beliefs, and I'd like to think that maybe there's an opportunity to go on a journey or adventure in between on the way to the final destination. And that's really where the story was born, is that I had this idea of a character that experiences this heroic adventure while he's traveling to the final destination. And that's where the world of Dirondale came from. And in Dirondale, a bad guy, quite an evil creature, came and started oppressing the people in Dirondale, and then this hero arrives to try to restore the balance and the beauty of Dirondale, which has been kind of taken over by him.
Well, how did you come up with these names and these names of the characters and this area, Dirondale? How did you come up with that?
A lot of the names are derived from other key words. I had an idea, and I would research the true meaning of the word and try to find similar languages and words that I thought were pleasing and kind of flowed with the story quite well. And the world of Dirondale was something that, once I uncorked the bottle, I really couldn't control it anymore. And it was an idea that started as that small little thought, and then it got bigger and bigger, and I couldn't get the thoughts down on paper fast enough.
Imagination going crazy.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. How long have you been writing the book? How long did it take you to complete it?
So it took me about 1.5 years. I had the idea first in late 2014, and then I'm a full-time worker, full-time dad and husband. Yeah. So that takes a lot of time, and I sat down and really got serious about it early in 2015 in about 10 or 11 months of work. And then the editing process and graphic design process took about 3 months. Yeah,
because you've got a couple of kids that are fairly young. You've got one that is 6 or 9 months old.
That's right.
And you say you've got one that's 4 years old going on 20 or
that's
22?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep, she's 4 going on 20, that's right.
Yeah, so that takes up a lot of time.
Absolutely.
Taking being a husband and about 50 hours a week or so.
Absolutely.
Working at Boeing. I mean, these thoughts, maybe driving home, maybe driving to work during that time. With doing all this, how difficult was it for you to get this published?
The self-publishing process was pretty easy. Getting to that point where the story was done, that was where it took a lot of time, and it really was like having a second job. After my wife and I put the kids to bed, we usually would watch TV or something after they're down and quiet, and often I'd take that time to spend a couple hours on the book, or driving to and from work. I was always thinking about it and remembering things. All right, I got to write that down when I get home so I don't lose it.
Absolutely. And an Air Force veteran, you were a mechanic, lead mechanic on C-130s. Appreciate your service.
Absolutely.
And one of the favorite places, like Mildenhall, England, as they say. And so I'm kind of thinking some Scottish, something going on.
There was. I was in England for 4 years, and there's definitely a lot of European influences with some of the characters. One of the main characters in the very beginning is a tremendous stone giant, and there was some very Scottish influences on that character.
Wow. Where can people get the book?
People can get it on my CreateSpace website or straight from Amazon. I also have a Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Dirondale. And they can follow me there and pick it up at one of those locations. I also have it on Kindle, and I'm working on getting an audiobook for it as well.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate that. We've got more coming up in just a moment. Stay with us.